but we had enough. But we always engaged in doing stuff. Even then, I think my mother really gave us a huge sense of social justice and community involvement. I remember going to this when I was in high school, we had a group that we used to go to these very poor slums in Mexico City and read to the kids, tutor kids there, little kids. Then when I was in college, and during the summer, we had a group of students that we would go into the Mexican, interior, in the mountains when there was not a lot of services, and we would go and help and educate and teach. We used to bring students that were in dental students and medical students and veterinary medicine students and educators, and really help communities learn and help them. So we did that every summer. So that was something that, we always had, give back. So, that was something that really built my own character. And then I also did a bunch of stuff at one time when, any bunch of the paper routes and just like here, anything that I could figure out how to make a little money, I would do,
Right.
And then I went to college over there. One of the big advantages in Mexico is that public education that's one of the other very interesting things that is different. In most of the world, including Mexico, public education, all the way to university level, not just K through 12, is a federal responsibility. The federal government has responsibility for supporting and funding education. So you don't get into all these things about referendums and budget cuts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You might have it, but at federal level. But it's a little more spread out because it's the federal government.
It's a priority too. Yeah.
It's a priority. I went to the university, National University of Mexico. It's called UNAM. It's called Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México. And if you look in the Shanghai rankings, it's not as high as many of our universities here, but in the world, it's ranked in the top 150. It's the second highest ranking university in Latin America behind Sao Paulo. So it's a high, credible ranking university in the world. And yet, it was totally free. I used to pay the equivalent of $2 a year. And that was for lab equipment. Okay?
That's
Wow,
crazy.
that is nice.
That blows my
And
mind.
I got my bachelor's degree there. So the difference is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a few friends that live in Sweden and Germany,
Mhm.
and they say it's the same thing. They're like, you guys could come out here and go to school for
Exactly.
tenth of the price.
A few years back, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, they changed government in Germany, as you know, Angela Merkel. And she tried to impose a tuition. Didn't work. After I think a year, she had to back down. Said, no, it's not working.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's nice.
it is nice. It is nice.
It's needed.
It's important. Imagine you guys, myself. I do have a doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a doctorate here. But I'm paying about $1,200 a month to pay back my student loans. Because I got a couple masters and the doctorate here. Imagine if I could put a $1,200 into the economy right now instead of paying back the government.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that make a difference?
That'll probably make it
Especially in our local economy. And imagine how many of us are out there.
A lot.
I mean, doesn't make any sense. to not support education because it's going to pay 10 times fold, you know. So, you know, that's just my opinion. But that's how it happened. And you know, I did work when I graduated. I actually went into teaching. You know, I was an instructor in the University of Mexico. So I taught there for a few years, and then I decided I actually, in a spring break, the equivalent of spring break, I met my wife, who is from Madison. And eventually I decided that I wanted to go to graduate school, and I applied here and was admitted, and we came here, and you know, the rest is history, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I got here.
You mind if I do a quick like name rundown for you and your family? Like get all the names down.
Oh sure. My father's name is Teresa, and she was born in La Crosse, but she grew up here from the time she was like 2 years old. So she's really Madisonian, and so she went through to school here, and now and eventually she also went to graduate school, and she also graduated, and she also got her own PhD, but that's a different story. And then and she's a teacher.
What's your wife?
My
Right?
wife.
Yeah, okay.
But she's now a principal. She's now the principal at Midvale Elementary School. So that's where she's now.
Okay.
And then I have 4 kids. My oldest is Salvador, just like me. And he is a lawyer in Chicago. Because in a law firm. He just got a new job, actually. He was in another firm. He had been since he graduated. He was